Which list of numbers is written in increasing order? So smallest to largest. Well, all of these numbers are either the root of 2011, 2011, or 2011 squared. Now, obviously, 2011 squared is 2011 times 2011, so it's going to be bigger than this guy, 2011. So 2011 squared will obviously be bigger than 2011. Now, when you take the square root of 2011, it's going to be smaller. It'll be something like 44 point something, 44.8. So that is obviously smaller than 2011. And that's it. This is the order from smallest to largest. And of the answer choices, that would be C. The value of -1 to the power of 3 plus -1 to the power of 2 plus -1 is. -1 to the power of 3 is -1. -1 to the power of 2 is 1. And then we have this -1. So these two cancel, that just becomes 0, and all you're left with is just a -1. So number 4, the answer is D. If 2 to the power of A times 2 to the power of B is equal to 64, then the mean of A plus B, A and B is 2 to the power of A times 2 to the power of B is 64. Well, 64 is 2 to the power of 6. And because the bases are the same, you add the exponents, so it becomes 2 to the power of A plus B. Looking at both sides, the bases are the same, so the exponents must be equal. So that means A plus B is equal to 6. Now, how do you find the average of two numbers? Well, you add them and divide by 2. So I've already added them. I'll divide by 2. And this represents the average of A and B. And that is equal to 3. There you go. Number 10, the answer is 3, which is choice D. The value of 30 minus 5 squared is 5 squared is 25, and 30 minus 25 is 5. So number 1, the answer is E. What is the value of -1 to the power of 5 minus -1 to the power of 4? So -1 to the power of 5 is -1, minus -1 to the 4 is just 1. So we have -1 minus 1, which is -2. So number 6, the answer is A. 8210 equals 8.21 times 10 to the power of something. Then the value that should go in that box is, well, 8210 times, equals 8.21 times 10 to the power of something, right? Well, 8210 is 8.21 times 1,000. And that's pretty obvious because the 8 multiplied by 1,000 will give you 8,000, and that's what we have. And 8.21, therefore, times 1,000, 1,000 is 10 to the power of 3. So therefore, that box contains a 3. So number 6, the answer is C. N is greater than 0. What is the value of the square root of n squared plus n squared plus n squared plus n squared is equal to 64? So under the square root sign, we have 4n squared, and that's equal to 64. If you take the square root, you get 2n is equal to 64, and dividing through by 2, you get n is equal to 32. So number 7, the answer is D. The expression 2 to the power of 3 plus 2 to the power of 2 plus 2 to the power of 1. 2 to the power of 3 is 8, 2 squared is 4, and 2 to the power of 1 is just 2. And that means 8 plus 4, which is 12, plus 2, which is 14, is the answer to the question. Number 2, therefore, is C. The value of 1 to the power of 3 plus 2 to the power of 3 plus 3 to the power of 3 plus 4 to the power of 3 is, well, that's 1 plus 8 plus 27 plus 64. If you add up these four numbers, you get 100, and 100 is 10 squared. So number 5, the answer is C. Test. What is the value of 10 squared plus 6 squared over 2? 10 squared is 100, 6 squared is 36, divided by 2. So that is 136 over 2, and that equals 68. So number 1, the answer is D.